Welcome to another episode of TaylorMade Conversations, the Gen Z version. They make me nervous. They make me nervous because they aggressive, right? If any of you guys know them pit bulls called Gen Z, they don't really play, and so they make me nervous. And so once again, I got my co-host
Kinaya.
Naya. Kinaya. She a killer. So anyway, that's why she's on this show. And so Naya, we were just recently talking about one of my past Larryisms. And so Larryisms are thoughts that come to my head that someone evidently thought was meaningful, and so I decided to share. And so one of the past Larryisms, I talked about choosing a woman, right? And so back on that Valentine's Day relationship deal, and the thought process was this. If you're with a woman and you're in a cabin and you got to go out and get water, do you want the woman who says that I'll be here when you get back, or do you want the woman who says, let me put on my shoes and go with you? And I was explaining that as a man wanting a helpmeet, you would want someone who would want to accompany you. And so, it plays for different reasons, and we'll talk about that later. But what is kind of your perspective, or what have you been told?
So I have been told, for the most part, you don't help a man. If a man is grabbing something, you let him grab it. You let him pick it up. You let him do it. If he gotta go out, he go out. Cool, whatever. You go to work. You go to work. You go take care of, but you don't build a man up. You don't help him. You don't do that, because he gonna walk out your life. He gonna resent you. He gonna go get another woman, and everything that you helped him with, he's gonna just give it to her.
Man, that's almost cutting off your nose to spite your face from my point of view, right? Because if you chose the right one, then whatever you help him build, he's building for you, both, for y'all, not for himself, and not for him to turn around and give it to someone else who wasn't with him at the beginning. And then if you never build him up or help him build himself up, don't you really end up in the same spot anyway? Because if he builds himself up and you've never contributed anything to that, doesn't it still come back to that same amount of resentment? And don't you risk losing him anyway? And then if he don't build him up and you don't encourage him to be what he could be, then you only have an unfinished product. And so me personally, I'm the same way. Whoever I'm with, I am going to support and assist and help them build their dreams. And if they are unable to see that I care enough for them to go down and get that water so that we can have a meal, so we can have fresh water, so we can wash our clothes, and not be supportive of that, then that's their loss, because I can't really control what you're going to do in the future, and can't really predict what you're going to do in the future. But what I can do is decide how I'm going to treat you now.
And you know what's funny about what you just said? Rick also told he's supposed to elevate you. He's supposed to help you. He's supposed to lift you up. But you don't do that for him. Let him build you up, but you don't build no man. You don't come in and help no man with his business. You don't come in and help a man do this. You don't help a man, because he's gonna resent you. But a man, he can come in and he could build you up. He need to invest in your business. He need to lift you up. And it's a double standard for sure. That's why I like to hear men's perspective, especially older men who are married, who do have success in their fields that they choose to go in. Because a lot of the things that we be hearing, I'm not going to call the women bitter, but it's like some women, they just be projecting. Men too. A lot of people in this world are hurt, and they be projecting on the other people. So it's I like to hear different perspectives, and I think that's a pretty good perspective.
Relationships are tough.
Yeah.
Relationships are tough, especially when you talk about no one does anything for decades, right? You don't go to school for decades. You don't.
No.
I mean, you might go to school for 16 years, 18 at the most. And so you're talking about being with someone for decades. And so there are going to be rough spots. But you have to also look at the type of person you are. And I like what you said about a man is going to have resentment. Resentment is if you are treating him like a child.
Okay.
And, trying to build him up by pushing. No, you can encourage. You don't have to push.
So what is pushing?
Pushing is, why can't you do more out of life? Why can't you, I need this. If you would go out and get that and do this, then you can get me this, right?
Okay.
Don't I deserve the brand new Mercedes? Don't I deserve the brand new Gucci? Don't I deserve the brand new shoes and those type of things? I want a bigger house, right? You're pushing, and then you're telling him he needs to do more. But this is the ironic thing. And I'm keeping it 20,000 on you right now, or 1 million. If you are 6 and you living in a 5 house and you push me to go get a 10 and aggravate me to the point where I now have 10 house money, why do I need 6 when I can go find a 10?
Okay. That makes sense.
Right? You can't push someone and tell them they need to elevate to this, and you still are who you are. And you might say you're a 10, you might be gorgeous, but you never finished high school.
Dang.
Now you done pushed me to get a degree, to do these things, and now everyone that I hang out with has degrees, and they talk about different political matters, world matters, and you still you. And so, think about what you're pushing people to, because you could be actually pushing them away from you. And sometimes you elevate and encourage by, elevating yourself.
I agree.
So I might have been a little rough around the edges when I was growing up.
What? Not you?
Yeah, I might have been a little rough around the edges. My people in 3rd Ward, Houston, and Greenspoint, y'all don't tell on me, all right? Y'all don't tell on me. Garden City, y'all shh. But the thing is, I met a woman, and she said, I don't date anyone who gets suspended or who makes C's. I was all right in school, but at that point, I was like, okay, I get that. Stopped going to the principal's office, stopped fighting, got more into my books to the point where I was number 1 in my class in the pre-med society, and elevated me to do more. I started applying for colleges, ended up going to Texas A&M. Fast forward to my wife. She was a lawyer. She had been a lawyer for 10 years and encouraged me and supported me when I decided to go to law school, right? Those are the type of things that you can do that don't cause resentment. And at the same time, builds both individuals in supporting. Because, a good relationship, as he elevates, he'll grab her and pull her up to elevate her. And if she elevates even higher, she'll grab him. And then because even though those women who told you that, they love a Barack and Obama. I mean, Michelle, right?
Oh, yeah. Power couple.
Exactly. But did not Barack say Michelle elevated him? And that cracks me up, how we love certain things, right?
But we're not willing to do certain things.
Come on now.
That makes sense. Like I said, I think it's a lot of hurt in the communities. I think that people gotta heal themselves, help themselves. But I just think that a lot of people are giving advice, and it's coming from a hurt place, and so it's doing more damage than good. But they trying their best, like they doing the best that they can, but like they not. It's not good advice. And you know what? Don't even get me wrong, because actually I think it is good advice. I think it needs to be applied advice. That's not advice that you apply for every situation.
I can agree with that. In the same fashion, it comes from a place of, like you said, hurt, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, as men, we do things. I mean, they're not mad for no reason.
Yeah.
And rather than sit around and point the finger at who caused who to hurt who, mm-hmm. man, it's sometimes, not sometimes, it's a good idea to sit down and just have that conversation and have that self-reflection to see, okay, what was my part in this and how can I stop doing that? And that type of growth, I mean, is in reflection, it hurts.
It does.
But it is necessary. And, if you're a man and you're out there hanging out with your boys and cheating and doing those things, you have to sit down and ask yourself, is this truly who I am and who I want to be? And if not, then what do you do to change? That old cliche, you can't hang around dogs and not catch fleas.
Yeah.
You might need to change the type of company that you keep, or, treat them like, what's the story, Snow White or Cinderella?
Oh, okay.
At the stroke of 12, they need to turn into pumpkins and you need to go home. And not go out after that point, right? Because, at that point, bottle services, bottle girls, women at the table, and now you in a predicament that has caused that issue, and you have to, and it's goes back to what I said earlier. The internet has everyone so confused.
Yeah.
So confused, because if you really watch these videos, I watch these people and they got a Lamborghini in one shot, and then in their apartment they got a mattress and a box springs on the floor.
Yeah, it's crazy out here. Social media create a lot of illusions, and people think it's real. People think it's true, but social media is a make-believe world. It's like you could put on there what you want people to see. People not putting the bad of themselves on there. You don't see the bad in nobody's life. You just see the good.
And let me just say this. Every dude with a six-pack and 6'3" who say he drives a Lamborghini truck, okay, once you get past that, what substance is there? And a lot of people miss that. What substance does someone have? If you can't have a conversation with someone and talk to them at your level, what is it, right? Is that someone you can raise kids with? Y'all can't even talk.
No. And it's super funny to me because men will lead with money. Men will lead with the materialisms that they have, and then they'll say, "Oh, I don't want a gold digger. You a gold digger. Well, you ain't got nothing else for me to dig for.
Boom.
So give me the money." Like, I'm not trying to be funny. If all you got is money to offer, give it to me. Don't keep having it in my face. Go ahead, pass it.
And that is so true. And that's a horrible. I mean, it's just a mean cycle. It's a mean cycle. Because on the flip side, guys hear money, and then you get one of these, and you get some of this, and then you're like, okay, that's what she want here. You know what I'm saying? Here a couple of bands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a horrible cycle, and in some fashion or form, we're going to have to find a way to change the narrative, right? Yeah. And when I say change the narrative, I'm not trying to hate on anyone, but part of it should be recognized as being for entertainment. for entertainment, not necessarily how people want to live their lives. And if you want to live your life like that, let's just be honest. You're not living your life because you're not going to look like that at 60. I told you earlier off camera I was going to get some hate for what I'm about to say. You know, I grew up and it was women who were size 2s, gorgeous,
Beautiful.
right? Around 25. Now, you know, they done doubled up. They're 22s. They don't look the same. And so if you don't look the same, and I got with you because you were a 2, then what's my purpose for staying at 22? If there was no substance in between that. You gave me kids. Thank you. I love my kids. Take care of my kids. But you, I mean, what I got with you for ain't there. So what I'm gonna do? Same thing with men, right? You got with me because I had a 6-pack. I had long hair like Larry Taylor. Now the dude 50, he don't have no hair, and he ain't even got a dad bod. He got a dad bod that ate a dad bod.
That's crazy. That's crazy in real life. That's insane.
Right. The only muscle he has is in his fingers. Right? And so now you stuck with this dude. He ain't never had more than a minimum wage job. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but he's never elevated himself to even be a manager in any kind of field that he's worked in.
Yeah.
Can't keep a long-term job, but he done gave you these kids that he can't really take care of, that you mostly do all the heavy lifting. But you got with him because he was fine, girl, and all your girls was jealous back in the day. Meanwhile, the guy who was kind of cool, went to school, became an engineer. He's now 50 and now a millionaire because he made over $150,000 a year as an engineer in school. And now he started going to the gym. He 50 years old. He looked 30. And so, you know, you start looking at these choices, man. Choices. Chris, what's that song they used to sing in the 80s? Choices. Who used to sing that?
Ain't that E40?
No, that was a good one, though. That wasn't E40.
Okay. That E40.
She said the 80s.
That wasn't the 80s?
That's why this is a Gen Z moment. No.
That was probably like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
5, 6 years ago.
Choices.
Are you for real?
Yes.
I love that song.
Yeah.
I thought okay.
Yeah, no.
My bad.
Yeah, Gen Z. That was a Gen Z moment right there. No, it was. I don't know if it was. I can't think of the group name, but we'll find it and put it drop it in the segment. But it was a song called Choices. But going back to your song with E40, bringing it back to the Gen Zs, E40 did make a song called Choices, and yeah, the choices that we make. And so, guys, thank you once again for joining us. Hey, make sure that you like us, subscribe, share it, tell your people about Nia, because I know y'all didn't want to see me. Now that she's on the show, make sure that you share it. And so we also have some gift bags and some things that we'll give away that will commemorate the show. But for the first 10 people that share with another 10 people and send us proof, we'll send you gift bags as far as a shirt and a tote bag, a grocery tote bag for you, just for you sharing. And so thank you for joining us at TaylorMade Conversations, LT versus Gen Z.
Bye, y'all.